at a stage where the international partners have become totally numb, and the dictatorship is so much emboldened that they will do whatever they please. And of course, the other change that we have seen is that 5 years ago, Museveni was still in control, but we know that now the real person in control is Muhoozi. And to say it in street terms, he doesn't give a fuck. Right?
Yes.
About his reputation. So, we as people power, we owe a lot to Kizza Besigye, that even at the age of 70 years old is standing up for Ugandans. And that's also why you've always seen our president appreciating Kizza Besigye. And it was actually our president with a tweet yesterday that pointed out that according to a research report by, I think it's Mulago Hospital.
Yes, Mulago Hospital.
Yes, that Kizza Besigye is not fit to stand trial. He hasn't walked and he hasn't talked for 3 weeks. And it is very clear that the judge, Emmanuel Basuga, I'm not totally sure, but his name is Emmanuel, and he was appointed by Museveni.
Baguma, Judge Emmanuel Baguma.
Baguma, thank you.
Yes.
He is determined to keep Besigye in jail and to have him die from jail. That's why I sent around an alarming message this morning. And especially I sent that message also to my Omuzungu friends.
You sent the alarming message to Museveni's government about Dr. Besigye's illness?
No, look, Museveni's government, that has no use of sending them any messages. They don't care, right? Where I'm mainly sending the message to is those international partners that after the stolen and violent elections of 2026 and 21 came out with statements. The European Parliament, for example, is our friend. And in February they came with a declaration which was very important, condemning all the violence. I'm also calling upon the ICC. Although I'm fighting them, I do think there are people in the ICC that are standing on the side of justice. And I'm actually telling you, they are inboxing me, right? There are people from the ICC inboxing me, supporting what we're doing. Of course, they can't go to their boss, okay? Because the boss of the ICC is in bed.
Now, Dr. Nico, let me pose a question to you. Recently, you saw Dr. Kizza Besigye in court fighting for his rights and freedom. And that video went viral internationally, and many organization, many human rights defenders, they observed that video, but we've not seen any document, any comment about what happened. And above all, I would like also to...
By who?
But we've not seen any comment from international community. You've talked about the ICC. You know, what is the problem? What can we do? And they have brought somebody. Have you made some research about this witness? A European they brought in.
Witness.
Yeah.
Please. While Julius, you go ahead and tell that story. I'm giving a call to Kizza Aaron, the lawyer for Besigye. I hope he picks, and then I will put him on speaker, okay?
Okay,
please,
yeah.
Yeah, but please tell that story.
Okay. Yeah, banange tuline Dr. Nico, kati ali mukubira munamateeka wa Dr. Kizza Besigye, Council Eloni Kizza, wakwata, aberenga ayogerako naffe mutapinge screen. Dr. Nico agenda kuba ayogera ku nsonga nyingi.
Hey, good morning, Council, Kizza Aaron.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good at this moment. At this moment, I'm on a TikTok live. I hope you don't mind that your voice is being heard.
But it has to be brief, as you know what I'm involved in.
Yeah, I know. So, shall I just keep you on speaker, or do you have like a couple of minutes to join this TikTok live?
No, let me speak now quickly, then I get to...
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah? So I'm here together with Julius. We've just started. I gave a little introduction about the reports that we have just seen from Mulago Hospital. So for the people, this is Kitsa Aaron. He is one of the lawyers well, we know Marta Karua was denied access. Lukwago was abducted. Well, Kitsa, you tell us what happened to you, what you want to tell. Everybody can hear you.
So the report you're talking about is the one of BSG?
Yes.
That has leaked?
Yes.
Yeah, I think for me that's what I would want to briefly talk about, is that the judiciary is ignoring the advice of doctors, which says that BSG is unable to stand trial, is still too sick to meaningfully participate in the legal proceedings, and a biased judge, Baguma, is disregarding the medical advice, not only disregarding medical advice, but also misrepresenting a fraudulent act from the bench, because before this report leaked, the judge was deceiving the world that somehow the doctors had said that the BSG is fit for trial. When you read the report itself, it points to an opposite direction. BSG is not fit. Indeed, that's what people who have seen the BSG, including the wife, confirm, that he's too weak to stand trial, whether online or physically, because a person fit to trial should be a person fit to cross-examine the witnesses against him. Of course, this is the latest incident of violating BSG's rights of Judge Baguma Emmanuel, demonstrating bias and incompetence and sheer insensitivity, because he has closed his mind to all the complaints he pretended and wrongly calculated the mandatory bail and ignored the time spent in state custody from the time of military abduction. He has ignored the abduction of Rukwago. He has ignored the abduction of the two accused before him. He has ignored the harassment of the defense team of BSG. He has ignored every complaint, legitimate complaint, that the BSG and Rotary have expressed or ventilated before him, and he is undisguisedly and unmistakably incompetent and biased, and basically conducting a farce. He is not different from kangaroo military tribunals. That's what I can tell you.
Yes, especially that video where he walked off when BSG was making some very strong...
He walked out of BSG twice, as BSG was trying to elaborate his concerns regarding trial. He would walk away, and many times he would shut him down or try to shut him down, despite BSG being very disciplined and very calm and restrained, except on the last day when the incompetence of Baguma forced the BSG to speak until he couldn't catch his breath, and led to this incident. Indeed, this latest life-threatening medical condition of BSG was grossly contributed to by the incompetence of Judge Baguma and the harassment he meted out to BSG, because had he listened, then we wouldn't be in this situation. BSG wouldn't have collapsed in the first place if the judge was fair.
Yes. Hey, and do you think that it is Museveni himself that is behind this scam process, or is it Mohozi?
Without any doubt, without any iota of doubt, this is Museveni's project, this is Museveni's intention, this is Museveni's fruit. like he's trying to kill Besigye, and honestly I fear for Besigye's life, and yes, it is Museveni. All areas are acting for Museveni, including the CDF. Museveni hates Besigye with a passion, and also has fear for him, and of course fears him more as he looks like about to exit the stage, owing to biological realities, and he thinks Besigye would constitute a monumental obstacle to the creation of the monarchy through the transition of power from Museveni to the son. And he has to remove him, he has to eliminate him, and he's using the courts. He had hoped to use the military courts, the kangaroo military courts, but once that setback was suffered, he not only he and his son lambasted and made scathing attacks against the judges of the Supreme Court, but they made sure that they reenacted the UPDF Act and brought the same provisions that had been ruled unconstitutional, with the effect that some people are now still being tried before military tribunals who are civilians, but also they took Besigye to and retired to before a judge who resembles soldiers, or who it is actually rumored that might be a CIO operative, an ISO operative. So yes, this is Museveni's handwork, this is Museveni's intention, and everything. Museveni is not only aware, but encouraging it and designing it. If you reread his speech of 4th July, you see Museveni's mind and his hatred and designs against Besigye. You may think Besigye is the one who is responsible for the failures of the justice system, yet we all know these have been choreographed by Museveni himself, and he is now very biased and largely incompetent judicial system.
Yes, and so doesn't Museveni realize that by doing this he is turning Besigye into a martyr, right? That will be talked about forever at the same level as we are still talking about Idi Amin 50 years later.
Museveni knows that I think he has made a conscious decision. He's being myopic, of course, but I think they have decided to deal with the present problems and let the chips fall where they may. Museveni has scant regard, or at least shows that he does have scant regard for things like legacy. He told that to Mugisha some time ago, the last time they met. And he has been behaving like it no longer cares about legacy, or at least his primary preoccupation is regime survival and now the survival of the monarchy that they are crafting. The legacy, the consequences, they have taken secondary position, and whether he thinks about them or not, they are not enough to persuade him to behave in a sober manner, in a patriotic manner. They have decided to go rogue and really sink this nation.
Okay. I'm here with Julius Katangola. Julius, you have any question for Kitsa Aaron?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Councillor Ellen Chiza. I would like to pose a question to you. Listen to you, you've seen activists fighting for the rights of political prisoners. Even Dr. Besigye, when he was free, he did that. How far have you organized in regard with fighting for the rights of Dr. Besigye? Are we going to just face the legal process, or there is any other way you can advise Ugandans to stand up and fight for the rights of our freedom fighter?
The legal is not enough. The Ugandans have to be educated publicly, civically, like you're doing. More Ugandans need to be educated. Of course, some are not on the internet, so it has to be through the entire landscape, communication landscape, radio, TV, and then social media, and even the other creative way of educating Ugandans, whether it is through plays, through music, through drama. all hands on deck, all methods should be used to educate Ugandans, because there are some Ugandans who don't know they are suffering, or who don't know the cause of their suffering, or who don't know that they are really in the dark den, and that we are on the cusp of sliding into a civil war unless something fundamental happens to stop it, because bad governance inevitably leads to really dark alleys that drives nations into non-nations, like what has happened in Sudan. Sudan was a strong country only like 5-6 years ago. Now it's chaotic, and it looks almost irredeemable. It will take some time. Southern Sudan is chaotic. Almost all our neighbors, save for Kenya. So you don't want to go there, but that's where they are dragging us. That those selfish leaders led by Museveni. Yeah, that's education, and yes, organize, but organize. The most important element of it, that people must be aware, must be educated, must be engaged. And for this note, I thank you, Julius, and Professor Nico, and others who do these kinds of things. James also does it. Sooner James, so keep doing it. It is important, and I hope many people emulate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Lastly, on a legal basis, we've seen the trial of Dr. Kano Kizza proceeding without his physical appearance in court. Legally, his absence here can affect him, and above all, what is the law saying about his physical appearance?
The general rule is that you can't try someone in their absence. Exceptions, and it says that unless he has made it impossible for the trial to proceed in his absence, and you have made an order to proceed. The current bungling by Baguma is the opposite of the law. Besigye has not made proceedings impossible. Besigye is sick, and there would be no basis for ordering trial in his absence. And in the event, we have already learned that Besigye's inability, Besigye is not unwilling to participate in these proceedings. He is just unable, as the doctors say. Baguma is arbitrary and with apparent impunity abusing the office of his occupies as a judicial officer to just rush through the case. You guys remember that the state delayed this case until June. It is until June that the disclosures were complete. But even to this day, the disclosed material has never been viewed, the videos, by the accused and their right and their counsel. So they delayed the case for years, and now they are trying to rush through because they have an American British-born fraudster who is their spy, to just tell a story and run back to wherever he came from, and then they want to convict. Of course, Baguma will convict Besigye. If it doesn't need evidence, even if there was no evidence, and indeed there is none, that Baguma wants to convict, because what you're seeing is Baguma acting as a mouthpiece of Museveni. It's not that Baguma is acting as a judge. Thank you.
And so that witness, I just found out that this witness was also used in 2016 against another political actor, and then he was called John Hunter, and now he is called Wilson. Can you tell a bit more about this? Because I think you published about this.
The Hunter thing, no, I don't want to comment about the Hunter thing.
Okay.
I don't have much information about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but then we will we will comment ourselves. Thank you so much, Julius. You have another question?
Yeah, lastly, for the sake of our viewers who understand Luganda, Lunyankole, and the supporters of Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye, friends, at least briefly, could you tell them about the condition of Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye? Briefly.
You mean in Luganda, right?
Yes.
Besigye ari bubi nnyo mulwadde tasobola kuwandiika ate tasobola kwewozaako, naye muramuzi baguma mutwara ku speed ate nga tagoberedde mateeka ate nga tayagala kuwuliriza n'abasawo bye bamugamba nti Besigye tasobola kubeera mu musango kati n'ayewozaako tayagala kulinda kubanga Museveni buli kyamugamba kyakola. Kale bannange tankole ebirala bye.
Thank you, Council Elon Chiza. Thank you very much. Yes, Doctor, we are here with Dr. Nico. We've been listening to Council Chiza Helen, one of the advocates for Dr. Kano Chiza Besigye, a human rights defender. Yeah, well, Dr. Nico, you've heard what Council Helen has said. Briefly, what are we going to do in regard with the legal framework? Because you see, the magistrate there of the High Court, Judge Baguma, he has become a problem whereby he can start a trial without the accused disappearance. So, what can we do, and what is your comment about what you've heard from the lawyer?
Yes, so first of all, we have to appreciate a lot the work that Kitsa Aaron is doing, not just for Besigye, but for so many other victims of human rights violations, and really amazing. And that's also why he has been awarded with a human rights award, totally deserved, obviously. Now you have noticed that when he ended, he didn't want to say everything about the case. And the reason for that is that Kitsa Aaron has been charged with contempt of court.
Yes.
And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what he is accused of is of speaking outside of the court. I mean, as we know, these kangaroo courts, they will do everything to frustrate you. To be reminded, Ilias Lukwago, other lawyer of Kitsa Besigye, was abducted to the basement torture center. Martha Karua, the Kenyan lawyer, came to Uganda and was denied access after being interrogated. And so Kitsa Aaron, they take other measures to shut him down. Unfortunately, I'm very thankful to Kitsa Aaron, he didn't allow to be shut down, so I think he's in hiding at this moment, and I think that is the right choice, just like Bobby Wine also had to flee, because you can better speak out when at least you are still able to talk, like he is now talking publicly, he is still active on social media. So that is very important. And then let's go to that case of the Crown witness, right?
Yeah.
So the Crown witness is a Omuzungu.
Orlando.
Don't think you can't bribe Omuzungu. They can also easily be bribed. And for some kind of reason, the bribable Omuzungus, they're very attracted to Uganda, right? So this guy comes up with a fake story about how Kitsa Besigye was plotting a coup against Museveni. And one of the things that Kitsa Aaron did, he pointed out multiple inconsistencies in that story. Things that didn't add up, that were clearly false. And the last revelation was that the witness, that is called Wilson, do you know his full name, Julius?
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson something, but he used
Orlando.
to be called...
Is he Wilson Orlando?
And yes, that one. He used to be called John Hunter, because 10 years ago, he was also the crown witness in a political process to eliminate an opponent of the dictator. So they're just repeating the same the same scenario. Fortunately, we have found out, and so there are like multiple reasons, right, that this court case has not have any credibility. Yeah? So okay, so number one, the crown witness that has been a crown witness before in a political process that doesn't have any credibility. Then two, that all his his lawyers are being denied. Then three, that he is not fit to stand trial according to a report by Mulago Hospital that was leaked yesterday, and the judge refuses to look at that report. So again, against the law of Uganda, according to the law, you're not allowed to continue such a process if the accused is not fit to stand trial. And so all these are just so many reasons that show that the whole process is fake and that this is a kangaroo court. And now you were also asking Kitsa Aaron, what is it that we can do? Now, one thing that is clear, within Uganda itself, Museveni doesn't really care, right? He doesn't care, Mohozi doesn't care how much we speak out about Kitsa Besigye. But what he does care about is international reactions, right? And the message that I sent around this morning, is I compared what Museveni is doing to Besigye. I was saying, suppose now that Donald Trump locked up Joe Biden, right? Who is sick, to die from prison. The world would be upside down. Everybody would talk about how awful Donald Trump is to eliminate his political opponent. Right? And that is exactly what is happening in Uganda, with the difference that no one outside of Uganda is talking about it. But by making this comparison, I'm trying to convince the international actors, other African friends, but also Western government, European parliaments, ICC, that this is now the time to act. If we don't speak out now, if we don't forward this message to MPs in Western countries, officials at institutes like the ICC or any international institute, any international politician, forward that message about how badly Kitsa Besigye is treated. And this is the reason why Bobi Wine had to flee. This is the proof that Bobi Wine did what he had to do, fleeing outside of Uganda to the US, right? So this is very important, because we tend to forget that the Museveni propaganda machine is very effective. I am telling you that this week I was talking to someone in the Dutch parliament. Yes. And I got messages and I was like, what? That sounds like Museveni propaganda. So the Museveni propaganda even reaches the Dutch parliament, right? Probably through Miriam Black. I don't know how. Yeah. So of course I was able to counter it. It's not difficult, but the problem is you have to counter that propaganda. Otherwise it will become a truth for those people, right? Yeah. We know the dictator is saying he doesn't want to be tried. Now that is a piece of propaganda, of gaslighting that you have to challenge. You can't remain silent, right? You've seen, I never remain silent. I always speak out. You have to speak out. If you don't speak out, you don't get what you want, right? So, summary, comrades speak out, especially in the diaspora?
Yeah, well, Dr. Nico, recently you saw our political prisoners, some of our political prisoners, pleading guilty, the likes of Machete Yasin and the others, and they were forced through amnesty. It is the same court our sisters, Sauda Madada, Dolivia Lutai, and others have taken. What do you comment about this culture? It is becoming a culture whereby somebody, to stand on the truth, they take you to court without trial. They take you to court. You spend there almost 6 years without trial. Then they come to you, could you please plead and we release you. What is your comment about that, about the recent forcing of our comrades?
Yes, so I'm very happy that these 9 got out, although they made the sacrifice by admitting to a crime that they didn't commit, but they were pardoned. I also want to remind people that at this moment a fundraiser is going on to support these people. You know, it's very important that these people are now out and they need a living. And maybe you remember from the past that Museveni was able to bribe one of the political prisoners. I think it was Sanye, right?
Yes.
We have to understand that that happens because they are not left with any option. They come out and they need to make a living. So it's very important that we support them. If we don't support them, then yes, it might be that they defect to the NRM. That is a big danger. So also for political reasons, it's very important to support them financially. Yeah. I also want to remark, let's not forget those that remained behind. They're even bigger heroes because they refused to go into such a deal, right? Let's Chifumbi is still there. Eddie Mudway is still there. Alex Waiswa is still there, and there are some that are even locked up for 6 years. And then let's not forget King Saleh. Since April he was
King Saleh
abducted,
yeah.
And Sam Mugumya, it's even a year now that he was abducted. And for
Mugumya
both of
Gaddafi.
them, we know they are in the torture centers. Yeah, I prefer not to call them basement torture centers. That is what it is. So the situation is very bad. Thank God these 9 got out.
Yeah, recently we saw a video on your TikTok sending message to Honorable Shamim Malende. What was your point about an advocate, the Umano MP of Kampala, Honorable Shamim Malende? Because we saw you complaining about some few things concerning her legal framework. What is your concern?
Yeah, so in the past, Shamim Malende has done fantastic work defending political prisoners. She did a lot of work. But one thing that I always found a bit suspicious is it was very difficult for me to get into contact with her. And that always raises suspicions because now people know me. So you see Kitsa Iran, he immediately picks up the phone.
Yes.
Because I know he is 100% good. But you know, there are people, they pretend to be in the struggle, and they're not 100%, they're 80%. And because they are afraid that I might expose them, which sometimes I do, they'll not pick my calls, they'll not get into contact. And I'm afraid that Shamim Malende turned out to be one of those. We don't see her anymore defending victims. And when she's in parliament, we see her talking about things that we don't care about. Right? She has just become a fake parliament of the fake, a fake member of the fake parliament. She's no longer talking about abductions, about torture, about the huge corruption.
But she's always on the floor of parliament.
Yeah, no, of course. We have a fake parliament, and they must be very happy with her. But not me. I'm not happy with her. And I'm very sure that our president is not happy with her either. I'm very sure about it. When I meet him, I'm going to ask our president, how the hell did she get the party ticket? Because this was predicted. We predicted.
Did you see the masses supporting her? Because it came from the people.
No, well, the people were not very clear, right? But there's one problem, and I've also noticed this in the Kalangala by-election. There is a lot of clientelism and we even see that in Noop, right? So,
Yes.
example, the Finca, she has a concert 2 or 3 days ago, and most
Yes.
of the people power supporters are saying, guys, let's not go there. She has an NRM husband, is an MP. I mean, if your husband is an NRM MP, you are not people power.
Yes.
And she also doesn't speak out. So it is clear she is part of that regime. And by the way, it's not people power that turned music into politics. It's Museveni himself that did that. So, people power supporters have every right, I think even obligation, to say, guys, things are not right.
Yes.
Olivia Lutaya is not able to go to this Finca concert. Let none of us go to this concert. And then I see a couple of people power supporters, some of them which I very much appreciate, saying, oh, but guys, no, you have to go to Finca. And this is because they are friends. That is the problem. There are always people that know someone, right? And that this is a problem you always have. Even with King Saha, we have it. We know that King Saha's baby mom is the daughter of Salim Saleh. Yeah? I mean, when I look at that concert of King Saha, I think he's a good guy, but I'll be honest, not 100%. Not 100%. That these connections, they're very dangerous. And I think, personally, I am, wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
I have 0 NRM friends, right?
Yes.
I don't see NRM as a political party. I see it as a criminal organization. And you cannot have a friend in a criminal organization. I cannot be friends with a thief, right?
Yes.
So I don't have NRM friends. 0. I have 0 NRM friends. But I do know, and this is a cultural thing, that some of people power supporters do have NRM friends, right? Yes. I think it's not possible. I think that if we want to remove the dictator, you cannot have NRM friends. Back to you.
Yeah, you've talked about King Saha having Salim Saleh's daughter. I think that is a blessing.
His ex, eh? So it's a baby.
Yeah,
mom.
ex, yeah. But we've seen many comrades coming out, the likes of Muhammad Nsereko. Do you know Muhammad Nsereko? One of Museveni's puppets here in Uganda. He came out recently saying that, King Saha married the daughter of General Salim Saleh. How can you support such a person? How can you follow such a person? Does that limit the love of anybody on the cause. And when you compare with what you've said about Vinka's concert, we've seen Vinka singing with Dax Vibes. Do you know there is a collab between Vinka and Dax Vibes? Do you know Dax Vibes?
Yeah, I heard about Dex Vibes.
Yeah, people, supporters came out and said, Dax Vibes, don't go there, don't stand with such people. I think you are in the same basket with those supporters who came eloquently and started abusing Dax Vibes. What is your comment about that?
I mean, I don't abuse any artist. I simply protest against them. So some of you may remember that 2 years ago, when Chameleon announced a concert here in Amsterdam, we protested successfully. The first place where he was supposed to perform was cancelled because of that. Now, Chameleon is a very clear case, because not only is he on stage with Museveni and with Samia Suluhu Hassan, the dictator of Tanzania, but on top of that, he is also he's a murderer, right? 10 years ago, he murdered like a friend of the family. We know that things are wrong in that family. There's an alcohol abuse problem. Now even his son has been convicted of a crime in the US. Maybe you heard about that.
Yes.
So now I pity that son, because if your father is a drunkard like Chameleon, then I'm very sorry that things went wrong in his life. So I think we have an obligation to stand up to these artists. We have to understand that the artists are part of the dictator's handbook. And I want to add, by the way, artists and bloggers, right? We see that the dictator also tries to get a grip on the bloggers. I'm very sure that you, Julius, because you also now have a considerate amount of followers, the dictator will try to get a grip on you, either to bribe you, and if they can't bribe you, maybe abduct a family member, maybe grab some land that you have, but they'll try to get a grip on you, right? And that is what is happening with all artists and all bloggers. And it's very important as a part of the struggle that if you are people power, you can only be 100% people power. You can't be 99% people power saying, okay, but tonight Chameleon concert. Sorry, tonight I'm not people power. No. Then you're 0% people power, in my opinion. Right? Because that is what some people were saying when we were starting to protest against Chameleon. Dr. Nico, don't mix politics with music. It was not me that started mixing politics with music. It was the dictator, right? And it's part of the dictator's handbook. Try to bribe and coerce all the artists. But you know, these artists, they actually have a freedom to stand up, right?
Yes, they have.
They are too big to be abducted. Well, King Saleh was apparently not big enough, but Saha is too big to be abducted. Although he was abducted for a couple of hours, I'm really interested to know what is the full story there. So many crazy things happen in Uganda, but my summary is what artists are doing is very important, and either you are people power or you're NRM, period.
Yeah, there is a funny question I always face when I talk about Dr. Nico, and many people are asking themselves why this European is concerned about Uganda's operation, and such criticism always come from those puppets of NRM, like the likes of Muhammad Nsereko, Dr. Mond, and the others. Somebody may ask, what pushes you to stand with the oppressed in Uganda? So could you please answer that question? Because many people, even in the comment, I've seen people commenting such silly questions. But why that European is concerning about Uganda, yet is not a Ugandan? How the humanity issue always come from here? Yes, guys. Those who wish to ask Dr. Nico questions, could you please send your invites? But you should come here as you respect the discipline which we follow here. Yes, Dr. Nico, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's interesting that these people, they comment on me, but they don't comment on the fact that the ambassador of Uganda in Brussels is white, Miriam Black. They have no problem with that. When the crown witness of Kitsa Besige, John Hunter, is white, they have no problem with that. If white artists come to perform in Uganda, they have no problem. You see, that is always very selective. At the same time, these people have strong opinions about what's happening in the United States, Donald Trump, or in other areas, and I think that is fine, right? We are living in an international world, and now when I started in the struggle, my partner at that time was a Ugandan, and now I even have a Ugandan baby. So I think that even by blood, I am now related to Uganda. But even if I didn't have, I find human rights interesting, and I think it's important we stand up for Ugandan human rights. We need to stand up for the human rights in Gaza, where also a genocide is taking place. We need to stand up for the human rights in Sudan, where a genocide is taking place. We are in an international world, and there also the weapons that Museveni are using are white weapons. There is no factory of AK-47s in Uganda. No, they come from the white world. When in Sudan, the South Sudanese are slaughtered with the financial aid from Dubai. So I think that those are the real issues that we need to address. And like you were saying, these are typical NRM talking points. We see these people, they synchronize when our president has to flee to the USA. They are like, oh, he is living the good life there, right? What kind of nonsense is that? His house was almost broken down. His wife was abused. He is not at home. He is not happy, right? So they are always repeating the same propaganda points. And it's interesting. This one for me. Why don't you go to Uganda? What I find so interesting is MC Ritchie was also saying that. I found that very suspicious. Because at first I thought he was like a people power supporter, but when he started asking me, oh, but you should go to Uganda to have genuine reports. I was like, what are you saying? That was so NRM to say, right? Because I don't think MC Ritchie visits Uganda all the time, but he doesn't talk to the victims of human rights violations. I talk to them.
But I think, John, a minute.
Doctor, I have a question.
Just a minute. As I go to our viewers and those who are listening us, first of all, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude on my own behalf and on behalf of our dear viewers to Dr. Nicole for what you are doing for the freedom of Ugandans and those who are wishing Ugandans has Banangi Johnny Balese Puzzle. John K, ask your question.
Dr. Nico, my first question on the issue of artists. In your opinion, when we are talking about boycott, don't you think Museveni government can achieve from both sides? For instance, King Saha's concert versus Vinka. Either you are part of the struggle or you are part of the other side. Museveni can achieve on either way, because there is a singleness of Uganda is not breeding. Even though you're going to go and you support King Saha and you pretend, oh, we are supporting our own, still Museveni achieves. What's your take on that? That if we're going to say we're going to support our own, and we believe that's their job, we have to support them, they have to get a living, but still Museveni government still achieves, even though we are to support King Saha. The same way he achieves when the likes of Vinka or Chameleon holds their concerts. It's in the same way he's going to win when an opposition artist stages a concert. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so, well, it is not a win for Museveni if these artists are confronted with successful protests and boycotts, and start talking the honest story. We know, let's also, by the way, not forget about the other major artists. We have the big three: Bobby Wine, Chameleon, and what's the other one? Help me here.
There is Bebe Cool.
Bebe Cool is also Museveni propagandists. It's very important that these artists are confronted with the costs of betraying their people. And it's unfortunate that Ugandans are so inconsequential, right? And that's why I even believe more in protest than in boycott. Yeah, so because Chameleon is going to perform in Netherlands, and he is going to be here on 24 November, and I'm very sure he'll find people to attend, because the reality is that many Ugandans just try to stay away from politics, right? They just want to enjoy themselves. So we try to teach them that, look, if you came to Netherlands, you likely came on asylum. So if you then go to visit a representative from the government that you allegedly fled away from, that is very hypocritical, and it might jeopardize your asylum case. So that is why we are going to be there, and we're going to look these people in the eyes, and, well, say, doing a puzzle. Can you imagine, this is so annoying, sorry about this. Okay, so, and look them in the eyes, and say, why are you in Netherlands? Are you in Netherlands because you fled the horrible situation? Yeah, is Museveni the reason that you fled to Netherlands? Then what the fuck are you doing here at this Chameleon concert? So some Ugandans have forgotten about this, because this is a kind of hypocrisy that is very deeply ingrained in the Ugandan society. But I try to teach my fellow Ugandans, when you believe in something, you have to be consequential about it. And people that are hypocrites, I will expose them, and including Mr. MC Ritchie, right? Because Mr. MC Ritchie is saying that he wants change in Uganda, but at the same time, he is talking badly about Bobby Wine. And he's talking nonsense about me, that I should be going to Uganda to investigate. When I then tell him that I've spoken to Kakwensa Rukirabashaya, who was severely tortured, then MC Ritchie says, yes, he was beaten. What the fuck? Kakwensa was not beaten. Beaten? Yeah, me, I was beaten a year ago by an NRM guy. That was okay, right? You get beaten, slap, and you go home and you're okay. Kwenza was tortured, is suffering from PTSD. The marks of the whipping are still on his back. Pieces of meat have been taken from his body. These things, MC Ritchie didn't want to admit that. And that one, I found it very, very suspicious. So I'll keep exposing these people.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Dr. Nico. Now we are going to have a question from one of our human rights defender and also bases in diaspora, Mr. Sub-Zero.
I have 5 minutes more, by the way.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Sub-Zero.
All right, Mr. Nico, I really wanna appreciate you for the good job you're doing, sir. And I want you to know that I've been following you for the last 6 years plus. And you're one of the men who honor the award. And it's really sometimes bothers me why people like you who are living in a comfortable life. You're a white man, you're born in the Netherlands, but you feel the pain of the Ugandans, you know, and you find those in Uganda, those who have traveled to the Netherlands, to the Holland, those who have traveled to Sweden, America, whatsoever, and they pretend to seek for political asylum, and they get the documents to live in these countries, and later on they forget where they're coming from, that things are not doing well. I want to ask you a question. What motivates you? What keeps on pushing you for you to keep on fighting for the silent majority in Uganda, for those people who are so many that are really suffering and going through those hard times, and yet you seem to be living in a comfortable life? Could you please let me know?
Yes, and I actually think that is the answer. The fact that I have a comfortable life. I have my job. My kids have grown up, which allows me to also think about maybe some other goals in life. I've always been interested in human rights, but then when I started to date a Ugandan lady, I found out the crazy situation in Uganda. And you have to understand that there are many white people that are looking for a meaning in life. Look, in Uganda, you're just busy surviving, right? But when you have survived, like me, what do? You want to do something good. So many choose to be activists for Gaza, which I totally support, right? Or they fight against climate change. I used to do that. I still am a big fan of fighting climate change. They become member of political parties. Political parties here in this country are huge. There are NGOs for the most crazy things. I once passed a bus stop, and the government wanted to remove the bus stop, and there was a local initiative from the locals that the bus stop should stay there, and they had a banner and they had a bank account where you could send money to prevent that bus stop from being removed. For God's sake, a bus stop. We are talking here about Kitsa Besige, about lives, right? So for me, it was very easy to say, okay, I don't want to get involved in bus stops. Let me find something that doesn't change just a bus stop. No, that can change a whole country. And that is being active for Uganda. And then the other thing, it is appreciated. Who doesn't want to be appreciated, right? Even now in the chat, just read the messages. People are appreciating, and I want to thank all those people for appreciating me. Thank you so much. That makes any human being feel good.
Thank you. Just one more last thing. The other thing is that I'm not going to ask you a question, but I'm going to tell you that keep on doing whatever you're doing, confronting those hypocrites who claim asylum in these Western countries. and then they start, when they get the documents and, they legal to live in these countries legally, they turn over the card and then start, telling people that Uganda is very fine. I totally am behind you. Keep on confronting them, and I do the same thing as well. Because if I find them, I confront them and tell them straight in their faces, why are you an hypocrite? Why are you hypocrite? Why are you turning the back on the Ugandans who are suffering, yet you came here and you're saying you're seeking for political asylum? You came here and you're saying you're being discriminated because of your sexual orientation. Why are you then turning over that because you are living now a fine life, you're very fine, and now you covered your eyes and you don't see that anymore? What changed? So keep on doing that. Do not give up. Do not quit. We are watching you and we are supporting you. That's all I can say at the moment.
Thank you very much, Sub-Zero. Yeah, finally, Dr. Nico, as we go to Muvabulaya, a few hours back, we've observed Museveni's daughter being consecrated as a bishop. I don't know the religion, but she has been consecrated as a bishop. And on that ceremony, we've seen a white lady from America consecrating Museveni's daughter as a bishop. So far, we've seen Museveni as a murderer. He has been abducting people. Here, we've seen him treating Ugandans as animals. So, what is your comment about the consecration of Museveni's daughter?
Yeah, so I mean that is just theater, right? These churches, they're all theater and they're totally useless. But the Museveni regime knows how influential churches are, and that they are such a good way to scam people. And I really want to warn my people. Now, whatever you want to believe, that is fine. It's good that the Bible gives you morals, but don't go to a church where the pastor is driving a Ferrari, right? Because I'm telling you, Jesus did not drive a Ferrari. Jesus didn't even drive at all. Jesus walked, right? So all these churches are extremely fake, and I recommend everyone to stay away from there. They are being abused by the dictator to control power. In 2021, I wrote a book about the rigged elections. There was not as much rigging as in the Ugandan churches.
Rigged elections.
This is about 2021 election. And what I did, I researched where was most of the rigging. And I'm telling you, most rigging was in churches. Yes? Because they are very easily bribed, and everybody has seen these pastors being bribed. And so I'm very I'm not surprised at all how much the Museveni family is attracted to those churches, because that is exactly what they need to divert the attention from the misery that is going on in Uganda.
Yeah, Mufabula, ask your question. Mufabula?
Yeah, thank you so much, Katongole, for giving me this opportunity to have an interaction with Dr. Nico. Dr. Nico, I'll excuse myself because I'm not going to be in support of your efforts to, like you claim that you want to bring democracy in Uganda. First of all, I will ask you, why don't you first speak for the people who are facing injustice in the Netherlands where you live? Like, for example, there's racism. Police are very racist in the Netherlands, and there are so many cases where foreigners have been tortured or have faced serious issues because they are foreigners in the Netherlands. We have seen these cases happening in European countries. There are corruption in European countries. I myself speaking, I lived in Europe for 15 years. I'm a European, but I'm a Ugandan as well. Sorry?
In which country?
I'm a Swedish citizen.
Sweden, I know him. He has a YouTube. He's an NRM blogger in Sweden. Continue.
I'm not an NRM blogger.
I know you. I know you,
and I'm entitled to speak my mind like any other.
Ask your question, please. We are in a question time.
So,
there are many
Nico,
people want to ask.
You just talked about who's this guy who stays in the Netherlands, MC Richie. You said that sometimes he says he supports NUP and sometimes he says something which you are against or which you don't like. Isn't MC Richie entitled to his opinion in your view? Does he have to see things like the way you see things? And again, I want to talk about what you just said.
Let me answer. MC Richie is entitled to his opinions, and I am entitled to point out the hypocrisy in his opinions.
Definitely.
We know that MC Richie fled a disastrous economic situation in Uganda. And now that he is here, first he pretends to be people power, then be consequential, right? But you know why he's saying that? Because of his hairstyle, the type of followers he have. His followers like people power. So his followers are like, why are you talking like NRM? So his followers want one thing, but when he goes to Uganda, he has commercial interests. Yes? When he wants to perform in Netherlands, let me finish, please. When he wants to perform, he is dealing with NRM promoters, right? The NRM provides him with money. So, MC Richie, you can say whatever you want to say, but I'm going to point out that you are taking NRM money. That's it.
Yeah, he's entitled to do what he wants.
Please ask a question. Ask a question. I think you've asked your question.
No. I'm still asking. I'm still wanting to make a comment about Dr. Nico's comments. Mm-hmm. He said,
but you are no longer living in Sweden.
I'm a Swedish citizen. I can live.
Yes, I heard you. But are you living in Sweden?
I know this man.
I live everywhere.
Because I don't understand. So, Julius, there is also this other blogger called Krishna Styles. She is also from Sweden. And she goes in her blogs and she is talking about how good Uganda is, and how bad Sweden is. That even in Sweden you go to a gasoline pump, there is no one to put the gasoline in your car for you, because this lady is living the luxurious life in Uganda. But then last week she started to complain that her kids couldn't get citizenship in Sweden. So I think that is so hypocritical. You bad talk Sweden, right? But then in the end you want Swedish citizenship. So I wonder about you, my dear NRM blogger. So you have Swedish citizenship, but you support NRM. I find that very hypocritical.
Of course. Yes, Honorable Counsel, ask a question, please.
Yes, Katongole, thank you so much, and Dr. Nico. Dr. Nico, we love what you're doing. We love your activists. Me, I'm NRM. I won't lie you. But we love what you're doing. Sometimes you speak facts, and sometimes
if you're NRM, I don't want you to like what I'm doing. Okay, please don't like what I'm doing. If you're NRM, you are my enemy, and you can't like what I'm doing. So no,
enemy, Nico.
No.
So you will fight everyone.
I fight any NRM.
But
Yes,
see,
and
Nico,
I said
I've
this
been
before. You
seeing you
can't have
fighting for
NRM
Bob Wine. You have
friends.
never fought
When
for
someone is
Besigye.
NRM, you need to fight
You,
them. Yes,
by the way, you man, you are not
I will
serious.
interrupt you
Dr.
right
Nico,
now.
have you
And
had
You
you
have
this
can't
never said
say
gentleman?
you
anything
like
about
me and
Besigye.
support
Nico, you have
NRM.
never said
It
anything
pains
about
my
Doctor,
Besigye.
ears.
Dr.
You have
Nico,
never said anything
you
about
listen to this
Besigye.
gentleman. He has said he has never seen you fighting for Dr. Besigye. This
You have
program
never,
was
Dr.
about
Nico.
Dr. Besigye. Dr. Nico came here to, by the way, to raise concerns regarding the operation of Dr. Kano Chiza Besigye. And he has been here. You
But
man, please
that
be
witness
informed.
for
You
sure
go on
is
his
just a
page. You
crap.
go on his page.
That witness they brought in court, I don't believe in that guy. That Muzungu. Muzungu is like Dr. Nico, Muyaye Muzungu.
Are you okay?
Oh, what happened, Julius? Yeah, so I see the comments. Dictator Museveni hooligans. Yes, we are dealing with dictator Museveni hooligans, but I don't mind that. I'm happy to fight these hooligans on your behalf. When you're in Uganda, it's dangerous to speak out. For me.
tebabateekayo
kati nekikyusa content bwekyakyusa content nekimuzza mu kutandika okukuba systems ze Sweden mu Luganda ku YouTube channel byakyo naye nga KNRM kimaze okufuna empapula KNRM naawe obadde okisuubira okwogera ebyetegereke byamagezi awo lasita
baine nange kyewunyiza nenga katono ganga
YouTube kyakyo bakiyita simanya muva Bulaaya simanya Bulaaya bogas oyo zika kyagala okunkyasa nekirisamu nenga kirisizaawo saagala kuwemula ekigala tugenda kumanyira nawe ani gwotuuza kuba obutebe bw'ekisiru zombuza ebyekigwagwa naawe kwanza siri hypocrite buladi chovolaba nti Dr. Nico kyabadde annyonnyola tabadde rocket science abadde agamba nti mwaba kimasayiramu tukkiriza tugaane mulekera okubeera ba hypocrites ekyo n'omwana yonka kubeera abakitegeera otegeera omusajja omuzungu yali mu kulwanirira ensi gyatalinda yasoma educated naye gwe diikula yasaba empapula mu nkambi gwazo omubuzeebuze by'ekisiru eyadduka ewamu olw'embeera embi ng'oli economic migrant ngwajja okubuuza ebibuzo by'ekisiru eby'ekigwagwa omuntu abeerawo buugi abeerawo ng'oteekawo buugi omusajja ali mukunyu yagwandika n'akatabo akajjayo n'akakulaga about rigging
kunsi iyo
okitegeera ali munsi yali comfortable nekivubuka kize waggulu kijejemba bividiyo gano bira YouTube byakyoze nakibulookinga YouTube kye nakibulookinga naawe bibyo gye biri eyo nti abeebo kati kiina abantu bano abannayuganda ab'obwongo obunafu bajjukira ab'obwongo obunafu society yaffe sijja kulimba si mububi bo bangi tulina batereeza butereeza abalwawo okugatta nti ono naye gyakivugira nga sitegeerayo kati kyatandika okunywa ebibozi wano sibatukeera kukola mukakati olaba ndi ku shift yakubiri kasasiro ono ne mukola bwenti naye nga ffe tukimanje kiggwera kwanze nabakyaliba twaga gwe gwakoze YouTube ne gwokolera NRM gukuba Sweden ne gugikuba mu Luganda ate tosobola byogera ng'oyogera mu Luswidi abaswidi kasaba tandika biraba kibyogera mu Luganda kutagatinga audience y'abana Uganda ab'obwongo obunafu
nkulaba
okategedde tasobola byogera mu Luswidi
abatasobola
system emulumbirawo naawe oba abantu benyini basekinoomu n'omulimu ayinza obutagusigaza obadde oki okuba ate mulimu gwokola ate gwokuba so kakati ebivubuka ng'ebyo bijja ne bijja era kirina YouTube channel yakyo era nze wekyambuse waggulu ogusoso okikasuse wansi naye okugamba nti ono munyampi gw'oyambusiza naye kanda bo bayinza obuuza ekyamagezi kuba omuntu omuwa omukisa era nze Dr. Nico nga kyagambye nze ne ku binigina by'abaddugavu na Raiso Kibirige yonna gy'olize wenkugwamu toyogera ku politics awo tujja vaawo bubi
osabula mu ttaka
twogere ku bino simanya walidde epafu simanya oli atunda mufunzo ono atunda magejjo biki ebyo tujja kunyumya paze embozi zammwe naye weyogerera ku politics siteesa naawe birawo babireira nange mutumidde oshegera katongole kyogera era nze binigina by'abaddugavu politics simwagalamu kubanga nze mbakubiramu wasaba mpapula wajja na kaveera oli nfunzi oli economic migrant ennaku yakuleeta ogimanyi omaze ofuna empaka otandise osinika ebinnyo osiriwala otandika okudulira abannayuganda babonaabona
ng'oli mukambwe komanda sabuziro
ankubuulira ze ndi komanda 002 owakyagulanyi sentamu oshegera blood if you cannot say anything sensible shut the fuck up osirike lelo like an envelope soko
wansi discipline ojoyogera
kula mulabiddewo oshegera mwana zikywanjaganya abantu abasirisa abafunye empapula zaabwe ne basirika abo sibalinaako buzibu katongole afune empapula ze n'asirika naye ofunye empapula wajja oli munaku oli mwavu oli nfunzi kika kyammwe kyonna kyavu wafunayo busente kati otaasa okuduulira abannayuganda babonaabona otaasa okwogera uganda tebuliidinga wacha wewe amanakwe wacha era nze ekyabi nga kijja era mbadde manyi okimanyi nolabika bambi tokimanyi oguddemu kigwe
nkiguddemu nga sitegedde
kyagula kiina bitaka eyo bisikweya miles embalala eyo zino yiika za miliyoni 2.2 kachwa kyeyogedde mbamwe European citizen yes nange European citizen gwe mbwagwe neze ekyenjawula ku gwe njogera amazima agaluma abantu e Uganda njogera bichamu ebigenda maaso mu Uganda njogera abantu abafiiriddwa abantu olw'obufuzi by'ekisiru njogera abantu abalemezibwa abantu abali makobera mito by'ekigwagwa mbamwe European citizen olingana amatako nange European citizen mbwagwe ane ekyo tuleka kyogera kino kyeyogeza by'ekisiru kubanga byo bikawadi bitiitiizi
kato emaweereza ku bimuli mpereza ku bimuli live etambule weongere maaso komanda
bitiitiizi European citizen toyina kwogera bwotyo gwenyini mbeera numbeera ku bumuwanyi akamanyi otakafunye okeera ku social ogendawo bagamba temwampadde kamwanyi lwaki ogendayo kukasaba
katonda wange
gwebuuza John Ke nga tafunye kamwanyi akeera ku office genda
ne John Kali kamwanyi
gwemubuuze nga tafunye kamwanyi akeera complaining nga waya accounting akamwanyi saakalabye mpakyakulabirako John Ke tali kamwanyi akola
obadde omukubye kakota musajja
John Ke akola tali kamwanyi anyway point gyembadde ngezako kulaga nti abantu ng'abo nabo twetako bakuba katongolo bateeka mu ttaka
omusajja gwe bayita Dremukisa omumanyi
simumanyi
Dremukisa bujjangamba yo yampa ebimuli bujjangamba akumanyi
naye mugambe mulamusizza mutumidde
ali awo mu Amerika
Dremukisa nkulamusizza muganda ngenkutumidde
naye abakazi
era abannayuganda katongole abannayuganda katongole abakyali ku mulamwa nga badde bali mu comfortable life katongole abawe ebimuli byabwe nga bakyali balamu abannayuganda nga bali mu comfortable life yafuna obutuuze naye nga yalemezaamu bahonalinga ebigambo byabwe katongole bawe ebimuli byabwe nga bakyali balamu
abo mbamuwe ebimuli Sub-Zero maye omusajja gwe bayita Kafirika
yaani katongole
musajja wange mumbulize
katongole Kafirika nkutumidde so mwami Kafirika tukwagala nnyo Kafirika wakyukakyuka
musajja oyo yampanga data Kafirika mumbulize
Kafirika wakyukakyuka Kafirika sebo
ogendo zuka nga gambe katongole data yuyo sabule mbwezo
katongole tukwagala nnyo muganda wange
Sub-Zero weyongere maaso abantu bakwagadde toluma bigambo byo ba John Ke kuba Muhammad Nsereko
kankuwulire muganda wange ensi yaffe ine engeri ebintu bino bitandika ku slave trade tugenda mu slave trade tugenda kale mu colonial time imperial time eyo abazungu bano bakola akantu kano kali bwe kati katongole balabanga ebintu by'amatwale g'obufuzi tebikyakola wabula kye baakola bagamba osigala nga tukyafuga abantu bano indirectly tusooke tubawo education system yaffe ne bagituwa we bagituwa ne bagamba tulondemu betuyinza okuyita ba elites nga ba Grace Binjira ba Dr. Milton Obote tubatwale basomereko mu nsi zaffe tumale tubazze babenga bano bwe batandika okuteesa be bayita abateeketeeke kati jjukira bano abatasomye nnyo abasomeddeko mu kisystem ate nga tebatambudde basinza bano abasomeddeko mu Cambridge ngamba ba Milton Obote nkugamba ba Grace Binjira nono wa DP bali bamuyitaani Bendi kicho kiwanuka mpakyakulabirako kati abazungu bano kye baakola bano abeeyita education system yaabwe tetuyamba era tetuyambangako era bo si gye baliko kati bwe baafuna abo abateeketeeka abo bansereko Muhammad Nsereko agenza akoze yakola baki head art ndoza no hey yali mu history awo economics Islam ndoza ne fine art aina kikosi yakola wa ekawempe moziremo era tikikya abagezi nnyo kyali kya bwongo bwa bwongo bwa ochegera shegamba sicha kulowooza nnyo kunyumya mbozi za kipinera bongo kanveeyo kakati abantu bano batandika okukolera abazungu ekiro nga bambala gomesi ne bateesa n'abazungu eri emisana ne bajja ne batulaga nti tulinamu abantu ba bulijjo twakyakulabirako ne bayita ba elite abantu bagenza okubuuka mwami Kyagulanyi ng'ababuusizza ng'ensi bagiridde okugituuka nga bava mukukkuta ne batandika olaka omuntu ng'avudde mukukkuta ng'abwegera mu bwegezi katongole osekera kigamba naye nga jjukira Uganda nti keeki ya buli muntu alinako share cake part ku Uganda yaffeeyo ng'abanga muna Uganda ng'azaalibwa Uganda nga bwe kiri nti ffe abali e Sweden katongole abali mu America ffe abali e Bungereza nti woofuna obutuuze bwa zino ensi zikuteerawo amakubo opportunities zezimu n'omwana azaalibwa wano wabula decision making eva ku ggwe by'osazeewo decisions z'okola ekyo kiri eri ggwe ne bakuteerawo amakubo ag'enkanankana n'ono azaalibwa wano tulifena katongole gwe neweebuuza oyo akugamba nti ama European citizen lwaki yaddayo oggula bu eka bwali egundi embalala eri bw'alaga abantu ne buloka z'amataka zaako
nanti kati ekisinga okunsobera njakuwa ekyokulabirako badde ku nserekaawo nabana abantu kati jakuwa Fazilu Mayanja omanyi bulungi lwakuba gwe otyo omwogerako
nze
Fazilu Mayanja byayogero bikkiriziganya nabyo kyokka ali Bulaaya
olina okumanya Fazilu Mayanja ali mu kye bayita comfortable life.
Kikyotegeeza nti ali mu comfortable life.
Kyentegeeza nti akola, kyentegeeza nti wafuna ekizibu kyonna ambulance etuuka wonna wali n'emutaasa, afuna the finest best medication ngamba obujjanjabi obumalayo, security ye eri tight, tatambula ku street nga ati omukuba pave olubaba lujjemu olwa ssimu, asula bulungi, alya bulungi. Era chovola banti ate ekirala mutiitizi wenga bidenti mutiitizi we agende Uganda ne bamujigamu ku airport bamunyigamu ko akagaati ne kayingira mu kamwa we yakomawo olulimi lwakyukamu olulimi lwakola ki
lwakyukamu.
However nze sina buzibu lulimi lw'okukyukamu wabula we nnina obuzibu kwe kwagala okufuulinga abatategeera spinning gyaba spinninga mu bintu bye. Era Fazilu nali mwagala nnyo waliwo yakinyumizanga ebintu bya history wa Afrika otegeera nkwama enkuruma n'akola bwati otegeera Mandela yakola bwa eyo
Fazilu wachawo yavaawo njagala professor
eyo
wanga omuntu asooka
eyo Fazilu gye mwagala eyo eyo gye mwagala mu history wa Afrika history wa ensi pa musajja soka asoma akola research ekira akuraminga ebintu amufere tukuraminga bintu bya myaka bijitolo tubuzabuza osegeera ate kira ye field ye atikati nze si field yange ate however nayo ntelo okwekoona koonayo ne sibiyingira munyo kubanga obongo nina byesagala teeka mbigenda kutwala space ya field yange ya bilalo kitegeera ontuli fena ensobi gye nnina ku baganda abange abo kwagala kujja mbw ateesa politics we Uganda alinga ateesa owe Bungereza. Katongole kankubuuza ekibuuzo ebbanga lyolabidde abantu abavudde e Uganda nga bannamawulire abamu basomyemu lwaki tebakola ku BBC?
DJ Benanzo ali mu kuwulira ssebo toli wa bulijjo. DJ Benanzo
DJ Benanzo nkutumidde lwaki tebakola ku BBC?
DJ Benanzo olwayo mpane ku data. DJ Benanzo nkwagala nnyo mukwano weyonge abantu abatuuzizza wano olaba waliwo bakyalibanga abatatera ttula baddule mukisa. Oli musajja nnyo olina olulimi somesa eggwanga.
Weebuuze lwaki abantu abava Uganda nga badde basoma journalism, basoma anything to do with media, lwaki bajja mu America ne mu Sweden ne mu Europe, lwaki tebakola ku BBC na CNN? Katongole tokyebuuzanga lwaki? Lwaki tebakola ku BBC? Lwaki tebasanga ku CNN? Lwaki tebasanga ku
Fox?
Lwaki abafuddeyo nga ba member of parliament ya Uganda afunye obutuuze bwa America, afunye obutuuze bwa Canada, Sweden, lwaki tayingira parliament yayo? Genda ko
Not
tegedde.
simu Swede.
Bwongo bunafu. Eno talina byagenda kwogera bya kisiru. Kufuulinga babeedo.
Kyogamba Muhammad Nsereko okujja wano n'ayogerera essaawa 2 ku TikTok omulengero eno balaba mujefula mugezi naye nga talina kyali.
Eno tayinza byogererayo mbalisagana mwogerako yo namuzira natandika omuzira kati. Eno muzina ensi tayinza byogerera kubanga eno bagezi. Abyogerera mu basiru. Ng'akimanyi waliwo yakedde ku makyanga enjala emuluma agenda vuga boda agenda kutunda nnyanja tamitegeera. Chokola bakugamba nti politics mulekere simanya a certain group of people be bamwogerako. Tawuliraga gabozi. Wanji?
Nkulaba ssebo.
Kati gwabuuza abali e Sweden. Tugenda kulonda muno mwezi ogujja. Roughly 13 au 12. Baada kino kankayiseewo akalango. Abasweden mwenna abalina obutuuze bwa Sweden. Muveeyo mu bungi mujje tulonde. Tulonde tubenga twenyigira mu kulonda. Akujjako abatanafuna mpapula b'enkambi mugira mulindamu. Mwetemukirizibwa kulonda.
Kojja omugezi abakyali kuza enkambi bagira babireka.
Kojja tali kuza nkambi katongo to spinninga bibozi byange.
Weyongere maaso professor nenga DJ Benanzo kwali akuwuliriza Dre Mukasa kwali n'abalala.
Mbatumidde bonna. Muveeyo mujje tulonde.
Ne Kafirika oyo Kafirika ye ali mu category ye. Weyongere maaso.
Mujje mulonde era kati Sweden tugenda kulonda. Naye tawadde obi campaign. Kuba bivulusi babi kibogasi kubanga bana abantu bayumunguzeemu ko kubyoyogera.
Waliwo kenjagala okubuuza sabuzi nasonye okutwalako eyo. Waliwo bye tulaba si biboozibozi naye abakyala abamu abawemula ku TikTok nga bafunye abasajja simu omusajja namusanze ayina